Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's lesson. Today, we'll be looking at some advanced video editing tips, part two, and we're going to look at match cuts, J cuts, and L cuts. So, have you ever wondered how movies jump from one place to another without making your brain feel dizzy? They usually do it by using a simple trick called a match cut. So normally when a movie changes scenes, it can feel like a sudden jump, but a match cut acts like a magical invincible bridge. It hooks the old scene with a new scene together so perfectly that your eyes doesn't even blink. So the secret is all about matching. Filmmakers look for two different things that share the exact same shape, the exact same color, or the exact same movement. They place the first thing right in the middle of the scene of the screen, then in a split second they switch it out for the next thing in the exact same spot. So even though the background changes completely, your brain stays focused on that one shape or movement. It tricks your mind into thinking the two separate scenes belong together. So it's like a visual game of connecting the dots. So it keeps the story moving fast, keeps your eyes glued to the screen, and makes the transition feel as smooth as butter. So I'm going to demonstrate how this match cut works, how to do it, and the final result, and then we'll move to the J cuts and L cuts. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how the match cut works inside of CapCut. So I've created my new project here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import or drag and drop my second clip. So I already have my first clip here and I have my second clip over here. So let's play these two clips and see how we can match the two. So with the first clip, you realize that we have the vehicles moving in two separate directions. So we have these vehicles moving to the left and then these ones moving to the right. When we move to our second clip, all the vehicles are moving to the left side. So since we are performing a match cut, we need to make sure that these two clips or the vehicles that we want them to match are moving in the same direction. So since we don't have any vehicles moving to the right side, we are going to make sure that whatever vehicle we are going to use for our match cut is also moving to the left. Okay, so first off, I'm going to select this clip here. Then I'm going to scale it with this slider over here in our properties panel. So I'm going to scale it all the way here. I think this is fine. And then I'm going to rotate this so we have the vehicles moving in the same direction as the one in our second clip. So I'm going to type 180 degrees in the rotate option. Okay, so now that I've rotated my clip, you realize that the part that we want to use has gone to the bottom because we rotated our clip. So what we are going to do now is we're going to select our clip in our preview window and click and drag it. So okay, I think this is it. Okay, so click and drag it here. Somewhere here is fine. Good. So now we want these two to match. So now we've got the vehicles moving in the same direction. Now what's left is you're going to pick one particular vehicle here and then match it with another vehicle over here, but we want them to be the same color so our transition would be or will be seamless. So since we have a lot of white vehicles here, let's see if we can get a white vehicle in our previous clip. Okay, so we have a white vehicle here. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can match it with this one. So let me click and drag this here. Then okay, so I'm going to split my clip so it ends over here. So it ends on this vehicle here. So to do that, I'll make sure I bring my timeline slider somewhere here So when maybe the white car reaches the center of our preview, I want it to be in a way where when as soon as a car moves from this point, it transitions to the other clip with a different white vehicle moving in the same direction. So how do we do that? So first we need to create a guide that will help us fit the other white vehicle in the second clip in place, so the transition doesn't look weird or it doesn't look odd. So how do we do that? We are going to use what we call rulers. So how do you find the rulers in CapCut Desktop? So to do that, you come to this area over here and then you right click and then you see this option that says guides and rulers. You highlight it and then you select show rulers. So now we have our rulers option over here. So now how do we create a ruler? So to do that, you click and drag. If you want to create a vertical ruler, you click and drag from this side. If you want to create a horizontal ruler, you click, or horizontal guide, you click and drag from this part or this area. So we're going to first create a vertical guide. Somewhere here is fine. And then move this here. And then we'll create a horizontal guide, 2 horizontal guides. Okay, so now that we've created our guides, we are going to split this clip and then clear whatever is on the right. So to do that, we use this option here, delete right. Okay, so now we have the point where we want our second vehicle to continue from. So now let's play our second clip. Okay, let's go to the initial part. Okay. So I'm going to use this clip over here, this vehicle over here as our transition point. So to do that, let's scale this out. First select our second clip and then scale. And then we'll click and drag and try to make it fit the guides we created earlier. Let's come here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I think this is fine. So now that we've done this, what we are going to do next is we are going to split our clip and clear whatever is on the left. So we'll select this option. Okay, so now let's try playing our video. Okay, so that's basically what a match cut is. So you realize that once it gets to that vehicle, it transitions to our second clip with the other vehicle. Okay, so now yeah, this is basically what match cut is all about. So to make it more interesting, you can either add a color grade or let's say a filter on top of them so they have a similar contrast, or you can add a background music or sound to make the two of them match. So I'm going to just add a background music for this. If I add a car sound effect, it's going to feel weird because our car is is distant from our camera, so we're going to use a background music. So we'll click and drag this into our timeline, and then I want you realize that in our wave form, in our audio waveform, you see some high notes over here. So you're going to make sure these high notes are at the position of where the transition happens. So we'll click and drag till it meets that point. Let me use this side rather. Okay, let's try playing our video. Okay, let's bring it a bit to the right. Okay, let's play it again. Okay, I think this is fine. So now let's clear our guides over here since we no longer need them. So right click here and then highlight the guides and rulers, clear guides. Let's also remove the rulers, hide rulers. Okay, so now let's play our clip again. So this is one fancy way of doing transitions by using match cuts. You realize that although we have two different videos, the transition still feels smooth because of the match cut technique. So there are multiple ways of doing this. You can use different objects. Just make sure that the scenes you're going to use have a similar object in both of them, and also similar colors. So when you use this method, it doesn't look weird, but you still have that seamless transition in between. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is J cuts and L cuts, but I'll start with J cuts first. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how the J cuts work, or how to do a J cut inside of CapCut. Okay, so now I have two separate clips here. The
if
first
you have
one
a healthy body and mind, it makes
is a podcast clip of a man talking, and the next one is a moving train. So I'm going to use these two clips to do a J cut. So first things first, I'll click and drag my first clip into my timeline. So we have this clip here, and I'll move to the end of that clip, and then I'll bring in the second one. Good. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to extract the audio from this video here, or from this clip here. So I'll right click and then I'll select extract audio. But one thing you need to notice, that to be able to export your video using this feature, you need to subscribe to the Pro subscription before you'll be able to export your video. But here they're allowing you to use it just once before you purchase this feature. So I'm just using this one for explanation or for tutorial purposes, but you can also do this same J cut instead of any other editing software. It could be Premiere Pro, it could be DaVinci Resolve, but yeah, I'm using CapCut for now. Okay, so I'll select extract audio. So what it's going to do is it's going to separate the audio from the video. So now we have this video and then we have our audio here. Now the next thing we're going to do is you're going to click and drag this to the top. Make sure it doesn't shift to the left or the right, just move it straight to the top. And then what we are going to do is you're going to move it a bit to the left, and then we'll move the audio also to the left, making sure that they still align. And then next thing we're going to do is let's move it again a bit. Let's zoom in to our timeline so we see what we are doing. Okay, I think this is fine. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to split this footage of the train, the moving train, but we'll leave the audio where it is. So we'll select the clip or the footage of the moving train, and then we'll just split, deleting the left. Okay, so now we have this, and then we've left our audio from the train footage here, and then we are going to add a fade in to the train audio. So select that audio, and then you see this small round dot here. We'll highlight it and click and drag to add a fade in effect. I think this is fine. And then when we play our audio, before that, let's move this back here. Okay, so now let's play our video.
No. Is it true? Absolutely.
Okay, so this is basically what a J cut is. So you can see that if I highlight my pointer here, we have the letter J. So that's basically why we call it a J cut. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate how to do the L cut. So to do that this time, I'm going to bring in the train clip first and then bring our podcast footage next. Okay, so since this is going to be the L cut, it's going to be the opposite of what we did earlier as in the J cut. And instead of extracting the audio from this podcast footage, we are going to extract the audio from the train footage. So right click and then extract audio. So now we're going to do the same thing we did earlier. We'll bring this to the top and then bring this podcast footage a bit to the left. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, so we'll have something like this. And then now we're going to split our train video here. So bring our slider to the start of this footage and then we'll select the train footage and then split, deleting everything on the right. Then we'll bring this back here and then we'll add a fade out to this train audio. And now let's play our video.
If you have a healthy body and mind, it makes business so much easier. You get a certain level of respect when you walk in a room. A guy is going.
Okay, so this is basically what we call an L cut. So if I highlight over the clips, you realize that it forms the letter L. Let's play it again.
If you have a healthy body and mind, it makes business so much easier. You get a certain level of respect when you walk in.
So all these three methods I've showed you are, you can define them as interesting types, or you can describe them as types of transitions instead of just your normal crossfade and those type of basic transitions. So these are also interesting ways to add transitions to your videos. Let's say you're trying to make a documentary video or you're trying to record a podcast video with some B-rolls attached to it. So I'm going to end here for this lesson, and then in the next lesson we're going to move on to the next thing, which is branding. Catch you guys in the next lesson. See ya.